with Umaiza. Today I'm going to talk about a very nice animated series, which is Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom, a magical world full of elves and fairies. A world where grass grows on top of their houses, because that's why it's called the Little Kingdom. It doesn't cover much of the world. It must remain secret. So once Princess Holly and her best friend Elf go on adventures everywhere, and her teacher Nanny Plum teaches lots of magic tricks, but they mostly go haywire. But thankfully, Ben Elf is there to help Holly when she needs it, and together Princess Holly and Ben Elf go on adventures high up in the sky and deep down in the ocean. It's just about fairies and elves. Now that we all know what Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom is about, let's discuss some more about those characters. So, first character is Princess Holly. She is going to be queen of the Little Kingdom. She's a princess and she can't wait to be queen and rule the whole of, not the world, but the Little Kingdom. And her friend is Ben Elf. And it's also the next character I'm going to be talking about today. So Ben Elf is an elf. He doesn't like to do magic. Well, elves do create the wands, but they don't use it because magic always leads to trouble. And what's different in elves and fairies? Well, elves don't have wings. Fairies have wings. So let's go back to the topic. Ben Elf. Well, Ben Elf lives in a tree, an oak tree, but you know what the fairies and elves call it? The Great Elf Tree. That's what you would call if you were an elf. So let's go to the next character and silliest, King Thistle. King Thistle is the most amusing character, and he's father of Princess Holly. That's why he's known as King. So King Thistle doesn't know pretty much. Like as king, you think that you know everything in the world, but all that he knows is honey comes from a jar, which is wrong. It doesn't just start growing in a jar. That would be ridiculous. Oh yeah, maybe that could happen in a world with magic, but no, it doesn't happen there. It's a bee who makes honey, a enormous beehive for the little guys. Enormous beehive. And because you know why he doesn't know where honey comes from? He went to a school. They learn how to smile and wave. It's so silly, I know. So let's just move on to the next character, Queen Thistle. She is mother of Princess Holly. That's why she's known as Queen. Queen Thistle would always want something to be perfect. She would see a little mud puddle, which is not little for her, maybe little for us. She would start screaming and running away. Or footsteps in her castles. Ew, get that away from me. That's how she would be. So she wants everything to be perfectly nice. Let's just move on to the next character. The wise one. Wise old elf. Well, he is very wise. That's why he's called wise, and he's very old. And he's an elf. It's kind of familiar to his name. Wise old elf. Well, wise old elf is the one who created magic always leads to trouble. Wise old elf hates magic. He always runs away from it. He doesn't like it. But thankfully, his ears tingle when he sees magic. So he can know there's magic going on from miles away from that person. I don't know how he does it. He can just predict that magic is going on. And wise old elf is exactly maybe everything. He can be the elf plumber, the elf tailor, the elf doctor, the elf baker, the elf builder. Like he's a builder. He builds the buildings, but he constructs his own work. He's everything, so so he's kind of silly, and he wants every competition to be his. I mean, like, he wants to win each and every competition there is in the little kingdom. But he mostly gets competitions from Nanny Plum, and that's the next character I'm going to be talking about. Nanny Plum. So Nanny Plum is servant of King and Queen Thistle. She's not actually a king or a queen or a princess. And she is also teacher of Princess Holly. Nanny Plum, the competition of the wise old elf. Like, they would have any competition. Who builds the best boat? Who builds the best car? Who can teach their students very well? Because wise old elf also has students. He's a teacher. Like, he's everything. Well, Nanny Plum is only a teacher and a servant. She's not much. Well, she can't do most of the jobs because she spoils it with magic. That's what makes the wise old elf that magic leads to trouble. Because I'll tell you a little story of wise old elf. When he was younger, he used to love magic. He had his own wand. But that was before the attack of the magic monkeys. Magic monkeys are some kind of enormous monkeys for the little guys that go crazy with the magic. They have a magic that no one in the little kingdom, even the fairies, whole bunch of fairies, cannot control it. Oh, well, Nanny Plum likes crazy magic. Nanny Plum says, we use magic for fun! But that's not true. Magic is only for sensible things at sensible times. Like, if you wash a dish, what would you use if you were a fairy? Would you use your wand to clean it up quickly and go on to playing, or would you use your hand? Not a wand. Nanny Plum would go, She would do magic in the kitchen, let it going, magic and everything she wants. But that's the exactly same thing you can do with hand. Maybe if you were a fairy, if you had a very rusty dish, you could just let it soak over a night. But Nanny Plum would just magic everything, magic the whole castle clean. And goes on with King Thistle's work. She just says that she has a lot of work, but she doesn't do it. So she's a terrible assistant. So let's just move on to the next characters. They're the final characters I'm going to be talking about. King and Queen Marigold. But it's kind of strange, right? How is King and Queen Marigold king and queen? If King Thistle and Queen Thistle are already king and queen. Well, King and Queen Marigold don't rule the little kingdom. They rule the cloud kingdom. They're up on the cloud, very high. You need to go in the magic bus to get up there. Well, they're very snooty fairies. They love magic. They would do anything with magic more than Nanny Plum. So, and they also have pet green flies. One is Lizzie, Timmy, and Susan. Gaston loves eating green flies, so he always eats the only one little poor green fly, Timmy. I don't know, but Timmy always comes back home flying crooked with one wing. Well, King and Queen Marigold don't recognize it, thankfully. So King and Queen Thistle are saved. Well, Gaston the Ladybird doesn't know anything. He gets a letter from his parents that we are coming, but he eats it. He loves eating letters, and he jumps in the mud. So that's all the characters I know about in Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom. Stay tuned up for more and more videos of Explore with Umaiza. Hope so you're doing well. Stay good in the lockdown. Bye!